Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here is a 9 of Wands. This is showing your strength. This is showing your commitment, your resolve, your willpower. This might be an oath or a promise or just kind of a resolution that you've made recently. Okay, this is a very powerful card for Sagittarius. And I wonder if that means we're going to get kind of a repeat of the last reading where we literally had all fire. If you haven't watched the last Sagittarius reading, I think you should. I think you should also watch this one. Let's put this into some context. Let's see what else is going on. Well, see, now we've got this High Priestess. And so that really connects with the 9 of Wands in a very, very deep and powerful way, because what gives you this strength is your connection with Spirit, is your connection with your true self, with God, Goddess, Deity, universal mind, universal energies, guardian angels, ancestors, spirit guides, all of that stuff, right? Whatever you want to call. Oh, and we got the star too. Well, that's even this greater connection. It's kind of, you're in touch with your true self, and all of that together is really in touch with like the rest of the cosmos, right? I mean, we are a reflection of the macrocosm, and this just kind of shows that you are indeed this very powerful star. And wow, that's really nice. I wonder if there is maybe some financial difficulties right now in life, but I see those are really getting wrapped up. Everything's going to come together on that front as well. Yeah, see, there's the Ace of Pentacles too, and a Knight of Wands. All right. Prince of Pentacles and an 8 of Pentacles. I feel like it's kind of a situation where you might be, at least as far as this earth energy goes, you might be starting to slowly rebuild, and you're kind of picking up the pace with something. But then the idea here is, let's not run too fast. Let's make sure we stay kind of careful and cautious, right? Because there's this increasing energy where we just want to start going faster and faster and faster. We got to slow down a little bit. All right. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is going to be a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot that we will just set down over here. We're going to put Jimbo, the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, please put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together. Let's make it interactive. Let's make it an exercise in all of our intuition. Yeah, let's really try to raise our vibrations and see if we can tune into that card. Yeah. First, let's look around the room here. We know we've got major, major, major. Now, this is really a very nice trio of major arcana cards right down the vertical axis, right on the central pillar of our reading today, with the Devil card, the High Priestess, and the Star. This is really nice. Actually, I think it's kind of going from the bottom up, right? And it's really all of this spiritual energy being channeled into creativity, into ambition, into this kind of certainty and this drive and this hunger to really improve whatever your situation is now. Okay, so I think there's really an awesome energy here. And of course, we have our fire energy. We don't have any water energy. And I think we had this problem in the last Sagittarius reading too, where there just wasn't enough water to kind of cool us down. But I think we're kind of getting that from Spirit here in the form of the Star and the High Priestess, right? It's kind of that intuitive energy. It's those messages, that psychic, the downloads, right? Just the influx of spiritual messages to you that are kind of, I think, giving you your ambition and your drive and your hunger, but also telling you, let's slow down. Let's make sure we're doing everything at the proper pace. Okay. So no water. We also, you know what? We don't have any air. But again, I think the star and the high priestess are taking care of that. And then, of course, we have our earth, and earth energies. And even with the devil card, this is fire and earth because it's the cardinal earth energy. It's the Capricorn energy, right? And then, of course, the star is the Aquarius energy. It is the fixed air energy. And then with the high priestess, we have the connection with the moon, so a little bit of the kind of watery realms there. It's interesting that on this channel, we always talk about fire and earth, right, as the direct line of creation, of manifestation, going from idea to implementation, from impulse to behavior, from will to action, from heaven to earth, from fire to earth, right, from above to below. And what gets in the way of that, for better or for worse, is the water and the air, right? Thinking and feeling. We have an impulse. Sometimes we need to think about it, see how we feel about it before we act on it, all right? To kind of put it in some psychological terms. And it's interesting in this reading that we don't have the air and the water, or if we do, Spirit's taken place of that, right? Spirit's taking care of the thinking and the feeling. So it's almost as if your heart and your mind are perfectly in harmony within yourself, but then also with the universe, with the cosmic energy. So there's no doubts, there's no questioning of your beliefs or your motivations or your values. Your heart and your mind are in sync. Right? And so all we have left now is this ability to perfectly go from fire to earth. There's nothing slowing that process down, right? Your heart and your mind are acting as the perfect conductor of that electricity. So everything that you're working on right now is, I think it's going to start flowing a lot easier. I think that things are really going to start improving. You're going to see a lot of these Five of Pentacles. Maybe they're financial difficulties. Maybe they are, maybe it's some health stuff that you're dealing with. I feel like all of that stuff is going to come back very much in your favor, right? We've got that Four of Wands here to show that those things are getting wrapped up and completed. If these are some, let's say bills that aren't paid, they're getting paid. If these are some test results that you're waiting for, they're coming back. If it is just some open-ended business deals that you're waiting to kind of get a conclusion on, they're getting concluded, right? And you've got this really strong Nine of Wands right there in the center. And this is your ability to whatever you commit to, right? Because this is that promise, that oath, that resolution. You're going straight for it. There's nothing slowing you down. There's nothing that kind of, there's no pumping of the brakes here. It's just straight to it. And I think you're really getting stuff done. Yeah. And it's because you have this connection with the moon. This card is very much connected with that lunar energy. And the lunar energy, of course, is the high priestess. And I think you've been probably experiencing a lot more psychic activity lately. Maybe your dreams are a lot more vivid. Maybe there's been some lucid dreamings, or at least more like really meaningful dreams. Also, what's the connection with dolphins? Is that a dream symbol for you? Is that something that you recently kind of had an interaction with dolphins in some way or someplace? I feel like those are kind of important symbols for you. The dolphin, maybe fish generally, but Spirit's showing me like the dolphin kind of, the way that dolphins would follow sailors out to sea, kind of as protectors, as guides, right? I almost feel like that's something for you, a spirit animal, perhaps. But the symbol is going to be very important to you, that dolphin symbol, okay? The high priestess here, I think you are receiving a lot of downloads from Spirit, and I think that these are giving you very specific ways of moving forward. Okay. I'm also feeling that there's a mother energy around you. I don't know if mom or grandma has passed, or if you have an older female spirit guide that's with you. But there's a strong maternal energy that's surrounding you right now that I think is also part of this kind of duo of energies here. that are helping to guide you toward really taking care of business right now. You know, going from the five to the 4 here, from kind of chaos, kind of uncertainty to completion, to getting things taken care of. It's like one bill at a time. Through your efforts, get it paid, right? One task at work, that's just, I feel like you've got a lot on your plate here with this 5. And the 5 of Pentacles very often is about things changing, things being very uncertain. It's like suddenly the ground beneath your feet doesn't feel all that stable, right? And this is kind of like when you're a kid, or I don't know, your pets. If you have pets, they probably know what this is like too. You can ask them. When everything's kind of in flux, when maybe you're getting ready to move, or there's just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of changes, a lot of transitions, it kind of feels unstable, right? It feels like the world is just changing around you. And I feel like that can happen to us when we've got a lot of things on our plate, a lot of unfinished business, unfinished tasks even, right, on our kind of daily to-do list. When a lot of them are not ticked off yet, it seems like, oh God, this is kind of overwhelming. But even more so when there are a lot of other things in our life that it's just like always in the back of your mind, I know I still got to call that person, I still got to pay that bill, I'm still waiting to hear from these people, and it's easy to get disorganized. Okay, I don't think you're getting disorganized. What I think is happening is that you are kind of focusing on one thing at a time, and it's like we take one of these tasks from the 5 of Pentacles, we kind of supercharge it up here with this devil energy, and it gets done. And then we just keep going kind of one by one, ticking these things off our list. Having the star energy beneath us here, this is at the bottom of the path of the dove. This is a real sense of destiny and purpose. You know, we have the communication. Let's say this is spirit. This is the way spirit is talking to you. Okay? And I think that this is a real connection with what you feel is your destiny, what you feel is your path, and trying to always follow that starlight. And knowing that if you follow the starlight, you stay committed, right? 9 of Wands, then things are going to be okay. As dark and as chaotic as things may seem around you, if you follow this lighted path from spirit, it's going to be okay. And I think this really provides us with a sense of security and safety, but also confidence. You know, that you're doing the right thing, even if it seems like you've got a million things to do. What good is finishing one of those things? It's still basically a million, right? Slow and steady wins the race here. Yeah. So I think you have a very strong connection with spirit, and I think you have a tremendous ability for divination, for tarot reading, tea leaf readings. My wife, she does tea leaf readings. Her channel is Ula Tea Leaf Readings. She does marvelous work. But I feel like you're doing those sorts of things too. Maybe astrology, maybe geomancy, pendulum, maybe Jing, any of these kinds of things. I think you're very in tune with that. And you don't look at tarot or astrology or Jing or tea leaf readings to tell you what to do. You know better than that. You use those as tools to see different points of view of your current situation and to kind of confirm and validate choices that you already feel you've made, right? That maybe haven't turned into action yet, right? It's still in that fire stage. It hasn't become earth yet. But that fire stage, we check in with spirit, and then we fire it. Then it gets to earth. Yeah. So it's not really it's not fortune telling. It's not telling the future. It's validating choices that really in your heart you've already made. You already have that impulse to do something. We check in with spirit through divination, through tarot readings, through meditation, prayer, whatever. And we get the confirmation that yes, your idea, your impulse is the best one right now given the circumstances. Yeah. And that's really a way of kind of checking in with your own heart and mind and how that heart and mind is connected with spirit. And it's really the magical kind of partnership there, right? So the devil energy up top here, this is obviously fire and earth, right? Cardinal earth energy. We get the impulse, we kind of check in with it, and boom, we execute it. This is really you getting things done. There's no second guessing things. There's no questioning. There's no kind of a wishy-washy feeling. You're not uncertain about it. We've had the impulse. We've checked in. We've verified. Boom, we execute. And we complete. And then the cycle starts again. So I feel this is a perfect time for you right now to start checking things off that list. Start getting things done, right? Let's go to the path of the serpent now. And as I do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. It's totally free. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and it really does help out the channel, and I appreciate that. We are growing. We're reaching more people. We're establishing a really wonderful community here at Dove and Serpent Tarot. And I want to keep that going, right? And it's because of all of you. And I really do love you, and I really do appreciate you. Ace of Pentacles here. I mean, this is nice. This is kind of telling me that couple of things. One, that you are reaching the end of this to-do list at some point, right? There is the feeling like you're getting caught up with things. So I feel like you've probably been, feeling behind with things. Almost, Spirit's showing me a lot of unopened packages at your house, right? Maybe like a lot of mail that you still have to go through. And it's kind of that joke about the post office, right? That no matter how fast you work, the mail just keeps coming, right? I've known people that worked at the post office. I've done some postal kind of work. It was for a private mail delivery company. These large companies and stuff, and even some residents, I guess, they hire third parties that actually just go to the post office and get their mail and bring it to their big, office building at a certain time every day. Takes a big load off of the post office, sure, and then they get their mail at a certain time. So I worked for one of those companies a long, long time ago. But no matter how good you are at your job, there's more coming. There's always more. You can never get ahead, right? And I kind of feel that's what it is. There's a lot of I'm seeing unopened packages and letters and things like this that are kind of piling up. And you're just kind of going through them one by one. You got to look at them, read them, figure out what to do it, and then move on. I feel like you're going to get to the end of that stack, though, okay? Because the Ace of Pentacles very often represents the top of the hill, the top of the mountain, getting to that space where there's one left. Yeah. But then the joke is that when you get to the top of the mountain, you look up, you realize there's more mountain there. Because the Ace is really just the beginning of another cycle. Okay? You climb the mountain from the 10 all the way up to the 8 Ace. I'm looking at the 8 of Pentacles there. You get up to the Ace, and then it's basically another 10, right? Because a 10 is just a return to unity. The Ace and the 10 are really two sides of the same coin there. Okay. So this is telling me that you're going to finish a lot of these things, and you're going to be moving on to what I feel like is a larger project. These seem like a lot of kind of daily details, a lot of like unfinished things. You're trying to get caught up with something. Once you do, I feel like it's opening up maybe it's opening up a lot of free time for you. It's freeing up a lot of energy. What are you going to put that into? I also feel like doing all of these tasks, the kind of one-by-one completion, is going to solve a lot of your financial difficulties. And we're going to reach a point of efficiency where you start really kind of leaning into the black, right? You start making a little bit of profit. Things start going the right way instead of falling behind. Now we're kind of getting ahead, right? And as we get ahead, we have more time to expand our projects, think about different things. The main part of this, though, is that we don't want to rush through any of these things. This has to be the efficient, you grab one, you open it, you read it, you do what needs to be done, you file it away. There is the temptation here to just grab like 10 of them at a time and just like tear them in half and throw them away and just be like, okay, I'm done with them, right? So the Knight of Wands is very impulsive, and this is the urge that we have to just move faster and faster and faster. Well, that's when we start making mistakes, especially when you're setting off what I think is going to be like I don't know if it's a new business thing or it's some kind of maybe it's a side business that you're doing, but it's something with this ace that it's like once I finally get caught up, then I can focus on this big project, or I can focus on this next thing that I really want to do that's been sitting there, but you got to finish all this other stuff first, right? Something like that is going on with you. And there is this growing impatience, let's say. But that's immediately countered by this earth energy. See, it's all fire and earth, fire and earth, fire, earth. And so this is really a time of getting stuff done for you. That really is the name of the game. You are, anything that's left lying around, you're going to have the impulse to just go and fix it or finish it like stuff maybe lying around the house, stuff that needed repairs, phone calls that you had to make, appointments that you had to do, people that you had to, I don't know, talk to or whatever. There's going to be this urge to just kind of go around fixing every little thing that you see is wrong. You know, the faucet leaks. Well, let me get my tools right now, and I'm going to go fix that, like right this second. You know, and to me, that's kind of this this idea. We're getting a little overzealous. Yeah, and I wonder, do you have some muscle pain right now? I feel like the shoulders are really starting to ache a little bit. And I think it's because of all of this fast-paced kind of hard work, you know. And what you're doing might be physically intensive. It might not be. But even if you're sitting at a desk opening up letters and responding and signing documents and whatever, your shoulders are going to feel it. Even if you're up, you know, digging ditches or something, your shoulders are going to feel it. So that's how you kind of know that, okay, maybe I got to take a rest, get a drink of water, take a hot bath, maybe lie down for a while, right? Because there's no water here. So we have to really tune into Spirit and know when Spirit is telling us to rest. Okay, that's very important. Very, very important is getting enough rest, drinking enough water, focusing on your breathing. Even right now as you're watching this, how are you breathing? Is it fast and short breaths? Or is it deep and slow breaths? Right? Or do you find yourself kind of taking deep breaths, like trying to catch your breath, right? That's kind of what I'm feeling. Of course, I'm talking a lot, but the breathing cycles and our breathing habits are very, very important. Okay. So the difficult part for you is, I think, really just kind of slowing down and taking the rest. We have the Prince of Pentacles here. This is like, in a way, just like cruise control. This is not. This is when you're driving on the freeway and there's no one else around, right? It's pretty safe. You're just you. And you're going the speed limit, but then you find your foot's just kind of slowly pushing the accelerator. Before you know it, you're speeding something very just wild, right? Crazy. Don't do that. Please drive safely. I can't stress that enough. I took my family. We went to a pizza parlor with our daughter yesterday, and we had to drive. We live in a small town here in the northern Midwest of the country, and we drove toward the bigger city. Not the big city, but the bigger city. And the closer we got to the bigger city, the more people were speeding and cutting people off and tailgating. What's with the tailgating people? It's a pet peeve of mine, I think, because I used to drive for a living. My whole life pretty much was driving for a living. But I feel like that's kind of what this is all about. It's driving a little bit fat before we know it, we really are speeding. So what we can do instead, especially when it's just us and we're focused on what we're doing, in order to avoid speeding, let's just set the cruise control. And let's pay attention, and let's drive the car. But then we kind of avoid our foot slowly mashing down the accelerator, and we're driving 1,000 miles an hour, being reckless, right? Don't do that. So this card's all about setting the cruise control. We're staying committed, but we're staying on a steady pace, right? A very steady way. And I think this is really how stuff is going to get done. This is how you're really going to build this thing that you're building, especially when you're on this new track, finishing up this unfinished stuff. But then when you get to this big project, this big thing, it's all about the steady effort. And that really is the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you have a connection with storms. I don't know, like lightning storms or thunderstorms. I feel like you really get kind of charged up by weather, really, right? And maybe you are one of those people that you can really just kind of feel the electricity in the air when there's a storm or when there's about to be a storm. I kind of feel like that right now, that you're gearing up for something. You feel that there's some kind of electricity in the air, and you're getting ready, right? You're getting ready for, whatever comes from this particular project that you're working on. Whatever this big thing in your life is that you're doing. I think we're trying to be steady and easy because you really are growing something that is going to be amazing. Now, if this is that money tree or the fruit tree or the apple tree or whatever, it's got to be nurtured in the right way. The right amount of water, which we don't have, right amount of sunlight, heat, light, right kind of soil. I feel like we have the light and heat, we have the soil. What we don't have is the air and maybe the water, right? Might have to think about those things a little bit, but we do have those in the form of these major arcana. So maybe it really is, you got to really tune in and trust kind of what you're being provided from Spirit, from within, in order to give this life, this project, this relationship, whatever this is. Now, maybe it's career, maybe it's something family related or relationships, or maybe it's your spiritual work. I don't know. But whatever it is, you have to let yourself be guided by Spirit to do it at the right pace and give everything just what it needs, right? Just as much as it. Now, in the last couple of days, did something fall? I'm seeing something fall from like a shelf, and I don't know if you were kind of hurrying about the house and you bumped into something and something fell down, but it didn't break. I don't know if it landed on carpet, I think. But I don't know if it's like an old, if it's like a vase or some sort of a relatively fragile like sculpture or something. But I feel like it fell, and it was kind of a result of us moving too quickly through the house. I don't know why Spirit's showing me. It's illustrating a point, but I think that happened to you in the last few days. Okay. I also think that some of us overwater our houseplants, myself included. I think that, but in your case, I wonder maybe if we have been underwatering the houseplants, right? Over, maybe. Let's look at the mystery card now. Yeah. Let's see what we've got going on here. I bet it's going to be some fire or earth, but maybe we'll get a surprise here, and it'll be some water or some air energy. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. I'm just going to say fire or earth. I'm thinking earth. I'm thinking a 9 or a 10 of pentacles, really, for this card here. Maybe it's your power card. Maybe it's the art or temperance card. Again, if you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Here we go. Oh, the Ace of Cups. Perfect. Absolutely what we need, because this is what Spirit is providing us. Spirit says, here is this cup, here is this Holy Grail that is full of infinite water, right? That there is, this is some of that love and compassion and healing and creativity and the intuition that is never exhausted, right? And so this is everything. This is us resting and taking care of our bodies. This is us really being able to tune in and feel the love of what we're doing. That kind of confirms that we're on the right path, where our heart's still in it, This cup does not ever become empty, does not ever run out. It's like this is the Tao, right? The more you use it, the more is in there for you to use, right? It's never exhausted. And I think this is a heart that is full of love, full of abundance, right? And this is what we're kind of, this is what's being activated in us through our connection with Spirit. And I think for you, Spirit is working not through the air, not through the mind, but through the heart. Yeah. So a lot of your kind of psychic energy, a lot of your downloads may not come in the form of words and pictures, may come through the feelings, right? May come through that instinct, that intuition, that heart-based perception, rather than the mind-based perception. Yeah. So pay a very close attention to just how you feel at times, right? And when you feel strange, when something is kind of going on, and through dreams and things too, how do they make you feel? What are the details of the dream, but how did it make you feel? How were you feeling in that dream? Were you scared? Were you happy? Right? Were you concerned? I think those are going to be very important kind of guide stones for you, right? Markers on your path. Okay. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link that should be up there. Otherwise, there's one down in the video description. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesdays and Sundays, but I'm here every day. Just come on back. See me tomorrow. Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.